Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the University of Central Lancashire, I'm delighted to warmly welcome you to Preston Guildhall and to this graduation ceremony. On this special day, we are here to proudly celebrate the achievements of our students from the Faculty of Clinical and Biomedical Sciences and the Faculty of Health and Wellbeing. I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mike Thomas, to give his address.
Good morning, everyone. Honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the University Board, honorary fellows, and our graduates. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony, at which we acknowledge and celebrate the achievement of you, our graduates and postgraduates. I always look forward to graduation ceremony and the chance for the university, the staff, board members, honorary fellows, and honoured guests to celebrate such an important day for you, your family, and your friends. This is your day. I hope you enjoy the ceremony itself and the celebrations, which I know will continue afterwards with your families and friends. It's customary for a Vice-Chancellor to use graduation as an opportunity to comment on economic affairs, politics, or to speak about the university in general. So I'll say a few words which I hope will be of interest. This has been an interesting period for you to have studied and gained your awards that we celebrate here today. There's been a number of quite radical changes, both within the university sector and more widely in our society. I'm mindful and hopeful that much of the university sector changes would not have impacted too adversely on the experience you had while you were studying. We've had to adapt to a number of regulatory changes, introductions of new regulatory bodies, and there's more scrutiny on how universities work and more focus on what we do internally as well as what we do with our communities. The regulatory burden will continue to grow as successive governments wrestle with the thorny question of university funding and, for many of you personally, university fees. The university here has responded to these governmental concerns by developing and now putting into practice new types of educational programs. We hope in due course that the university will be able to offer different degree routes. For example, future students will do 1 year of their degree here in the university and pay 1 year's fee. The remainder of the degree will then be studied externally, and students will receive a salary, not pay any fees, and the university will seek other forms of external funding. Such students will still graduate, they will still attend days like today, we'll still celebrate with the mortarboard and the gown and the different colours and the theatre that you deserve, but the financial burden will be substantially less. We're also developing a new second innovative programme where students can undertake a degree and, whilst doing so, with the permission of the government and the regulatory bodies, study vocational programmes with partners at the same time. So when they graduate, they will have other vocational awards alongside their degree. So your university is not complacent in the face of external regulatory changes in the sector, and more generally, in wider society, we are actively engaged in discussions on how we can support the economy post-Brexit. For example, we're looking at economic initiatives such as developing a trade fair between local businesses and countries abroad, such as China and the Middle East. But I think it's difficult for people not ingrained in university life to fully comprehend that universities are not public sector organisations, though we have a large amount of public sector responsibilities due to the funding mechanisms. Equally, we're not fully a commercial organisations, though we have to raise our own revenue and fully engage in income generation activities while retaining our primary mission of developing knowledge, teaching research and enterprise. And many universities, including your university, is registered as a charity, but we're not solely a charity because of our engagement in the commercial and public sector worlds. As an organisation, universities really are strange beasts. We are simultaneously a public sector organisation, a commercial company, and a charity. And we manage to incorporate those three areas by focusing on you, our students. You are our main reason for existing as an organisation. We are wholly committed to ensuring that you have the relevant learning, knowledge, skills and resources to broaden your intellectual horizon, your tolerance of other people, and your passion to support your communities. The School of Medicine this morning is graduating our first cohort of undergraduate students at this ceremony, but also our first cohort of physicians associates, in addition to students who have undertaken a number of postgraduate programs. Today, you become part of the fabric and history of the school as the first students to complete full-time courses from medicine. The Physicians Associates graduates have already demonstrated that the medical school's aim of providing highly trained health professionals for the region is becoming a reality, with the majority of the graduates remaining in the region for your first jobs. You're already helping with the NHS recruitment shortages in the region and proving to be impressive ambassadors for the relatively new profession. The staff at the School of Medicine are immensely proud of you today. You have been pioneers who have taken every opportunity to help develop the culture and ethos of the school in its early years, and you leave behind a wonderful legacy of a job well done. Students following in your footsteps will benefit from the work that you have carried out. Equally, for you here today from the School of Dentistry, you are consistently placed highly in the completed foundation training selection process, and the results this year are the best so far. Out of approximately 1,200 applicants nationally, over a third of our students ranked in the top 100, with one of our students ranked third in the UK. This is a reflection of the high standards of clinical experience and dedication that you receive in the dental education centres and the enhanced training practices. Looks like the success is continuing as our students progress through their early years, with a recent graduate achieving the highest score in the country in the dental core training selection process. And our School of Social Work, Care and Community graduates go on into employment with local authorities, community groups, voluntary sector organisations across the county and much further afield. You do some fantastic work with vulnerable people. And during your studies, you've contributed to your local communities across the region. So far, the Centre for Community and Voluntary Leadership has worked with 2,177 students, and you've committed over 31,000 hours of volunteering. If that was paid work, that would equate to nearly £500,000 of salaries that you've given free. So I would argue that you should never underestimate the experiences you have in your university life and the way it shapes your thinking and how it can influence your future. The university has a long history of transforming lives. We were first established on the 7th of October in 1828 here in the city of Preston as the Institute for the Diffusion of Knowledge. And this year, as you graduate, your university celebrates its 190th birthday. And the original group that formed what became the University of Central Lancashire were radical in their thinking about education and learning and innovation. And we recognise that in today's world, we have a duty to continue that mission and spirit of radicalism, to continue to be innovative and implement creative thinking and help you to continue with your lives more equipped and more resilient. But our success is achieved together. You, staff, students, seeking new knowledge to provide clarity and certainty. And in the midst of this uncertain period, there are certain things we know about you. We know today you are graduates and postgraduates. We certainly know that you've worked for your awards. We know another certainty. We know if you hold on to those beliefs and values that promote and support our communities, the principles and values that are enshrined in your university, you will continue to commit to the communities in which you live. For instance, common sense, the judgment to do the right thing for others, compassion, to treat others with consideration, care and honesty, teamwork, to think and act together, valuing collective as highly as individual achievements, attentiveness, to take personal and professional pride in the quality of your work, but show that you can listen and care for others as you carry out that work, and trust, showing respect and integrity in all that you do. I hope that the university provided a space for you to discuss ideas and pursue different views and perspectives and new ways of doing things. So take your university values with you as you go on with your life. We know other things about you. We know you have the ability to understand complex issues. We know you can be critical in making judgments. We know you have the confidence to challenge. We know you can impact on the status quo. We know you have developed a value for civil society and a willingness to make a personal contribution. This is why you're here today as graduates and postgraduates. So continue to observe and watch, analyze, devise new solutions to the things that life brings to you. Keep learning, exercise that intellect of yours, and be ready to intervene as you go on with your life. Make the most of every opportunity. Don't be afraid or unwilling. Try new things, but equally be ready to compromise when you need to. We look to you. You are our future hope. Participate in processes and debates, in organisations, in businesses and commerce. Seek to make a difference. We know another certainty about you. We know all of you sitting here today, gaining your awards, have earned that award. That's why we celebrate it. And we know it's been difficult. That must be so. I make no apologies for that. Few things in life of genuine value are easy to gain, and success in a university is far from easy. The university would have demanded from you dedication, commitment, intellectual endeavour, and hard work. I'm sure that many of you here in the audience today, families, friends, and colleagues, would have been called upon to provide a helping hand in your journey. So on behalf of you, our graduates and postgraduates, I would like to thank you, the audience, for that invaluable support, and ask the graduates that you join me in sharing our appreciation to you. Universities are genuinely and uniquely strange organisations. We bring together a group of people to form an academic community. We dedicate our lives to learning and supporting transformation. You would have been taught by a dedicated group of academic staff, many of whom are international leaders in their field, all of whom devote their professional lives to the teaching, learning, and development of their subjects. You would have also been supported by many highly dedicated professional staff members who provided the services and infrastructure that have made your success possible. On your behalf, I would like to thank every one of our staff and ask once again that you join me in applauding them. In a few minutes, the names of our graduates will be called out. We will applaud and cheer. Please, everybody, make as much noise as you can. This is a celebratory ceremony. If there are any babies or infants in the audience and they start to cry or wish to run around or make a noise, please let them do so. We appreciate that noise. It's a pleasure to us. Each of you will enter the stage on my right as graduates and postgraduates. You'll cross the stage, you'll shake my hand, I'll personally congratulate you, and you'll exit stage left as graduates and postgraduates. We do this to publicly acknowledge your individual achievements, but also to congratulate you personally. I know everyone in the hall will be as enthusiastic with your applause for our first graduate as you will be for our final graduate. We take great pride in your achievements. I'm confident you'll go out into the world and bring not only real social and economic benefit to yourselves, but also to the communities in which you live. Whatever you decide to do next, wherever in the world you find yourself, you'll always be a member of this university. I hope at some stage you will return to your academic home. But for now, on behalf of everybody here, very well done, congratulations, and good luck for a happy and successful life. Thank you.
Chancellor, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Academic Board confers an honorary fellowship on Kevin McGee. Chancellor, it would be no overstatement to say the University School of Medicine would not be accepting its first UK-funded students this year were it not for the extraordinary faith Kevin McGee showed in the university when he was in his role as Chief Executive of the East Lancashire Hospitals Trust. And the successful development of the school hinged on strong relationships with our NHS strategic service provider partners. Kevin's confidence in our ability to become the key provider of healthcare graduates for the region, and in particular East Lancashire, has been nothing short of inspirational. Having worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure our aspirations were aligned to the strategic direction of the Trust. He has more than 30 years' experience in the healthcare sector. During his career, Kevin has excelled in a wide variety of roles, including Director of Finance, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Executive of a large acute hospital and Director of Commissioning and Performance Management, and Chief Executive in 2 teaching primary care trusts. In 2014, Kevin took up his current position as Chief Executive of East Lancashire Hospitals NHS Trust, which is one of the largest trusts in the North West. Looking ahead, Kevin's ambition is to help develop and lead a first-class health and social care system for local communities, as well as facilitating the development of future healthcare sector leaders. He will also continue to work locally to help ensure UCLAN's Medical School achieves its ambition to provide highly qualified healthcare professionals and industry support across Lancashire. Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, it is with great pleasure that I present Kevin McGee for the award of Honorary Fellow of the University of Central Lancashire. I would now like to invite Honorary Fellow Kevin McGee to deliver his response.
Thank you. And gosh, what an audience. You guys should be so proud of yourself, you graduates. I remember back to mine over 30 years ago, and I can still remember it vividly. It was a wonderful day and the start of a fabulous career for myself in the NHS. You should be very proud of what you've done, what you've achieved over the last few years, and I'm sure it will be the start for you of a wonderful career, so well done. I started in the NHS over 30 years ago as a finance trainee. And I never imagined, over 30 years later, I'll be standing in front of such an audience as Chief Executive of East Lancashire Hospitals Trust and having such a fabulous honour from the university. And I'm deeply grateful to the university for this honour. I hope to be able to carry it through and to be able to support and protect local services, both health and social care, for the future. Our communities, our communities deserve the very, very best, and that's our ambition. And that's the ambition of our hospitals, our community services, our primary care services, supported by the university. Throughout my career, I've been supported by many different people. I've had some wonderful colleagues, both past and present, and I've got 2 dear colleagues with me today. But most importantly, I'd like to thank my family. My family have supported me through good times, but also through difficult times. And I suppose in any career, as in life, there are good times and there are difficult times. And it's the quality of the relationships that you develop, both with your family and with your work colleagues, that will see you through those times. I've been lucky to work with some fabulous people during my career, and I've had some really great advice. The first bit of advice I would give to anybody is you're only as good as the teams that you work with. Always look to work with people and to be part of people who can extend you, who are brighter than you, who will work with you. That way you can achieve great and fabulous things together. And it's really fitting to be standing here in the 70th year of the NHS. I was very lucky a couple of weeks ago to go to a fabulous ceremony at Westminster Abbey where we celebrated the NHS and its 70th birthday. And it was a really moving, humbling experience. There were a number of patients there, one particular patient I can remember who was part of the Manchester bombing. The speech that young girl gave that day was inspirational, and it made many people in the audience cry. But what it brought home was the fabulous work that we do in our NHS, in our health and social care services. There is nothing more important to our communities and to our families. And so standing here, looking at all these bright young graduates for the future, my hope, my aspiration is that so many of you will be working in the NHS. You will be our professionals. You will be our bright people who will really push the NHS, push social care onto the next level. So thank you again for the honour to the university, and I wish all graduates a fabulous and happy career, and please make sure you enjoy and remember this day. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, the presentation of the graduands and award holders will now take place.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, I present those who have gained awards in the School of Medicine. For the Postgraduate Diploma in Physician Associate Studies, Mohammed Bilal Abdul Qader Abdulatif. Rebecca Joanne Allen. Eniola Boda. Natalie Burgoyne. Emma Louise Hoyle. With the Olu Oregon Award for Excellence in Physician Associate Studies, Shelby Mary Hurst. Johura Rezwana Khanum. Anna Joy Lang. Laura Maria McMullen. Audrey Murad-Sikwa. Munira Patel. Simon James Pritchard. Mohammed Jamil Ramzan. Sultana Rashid. Yusuf Razai. Wajiha Tariq. Jenny Louise Whitehead. Caroline Wollstonholme Rogers. Murugasan Pilaman Raja. Samitha Wirasekara. For the Bachelor of Science with Honours in Medical Sciences, Shahid Munir Abdullah. Christopher Abu Muharib. Jesu Thomasin Itunuwala Ambimbola Christiana Ayer. With the course prize for top performing student, Axel Barr. Mohammed Musa. Jessica Regan Brown. Abisa Fatimata Binta Manesano. Olivia Vaughan. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Medicine.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, I present those who have gained awards in the School of Dentistry. For a thesis entitled Knee Pain and Knee Pain-Related Disabilities in Western Development Region of Nepal, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Dan Badahar Badwan Kestri. Bachelor of Dental Surgery, Yasmin Adin. Katrina Persick. Lydia Jane Chapman. Gulshana Chowdhury. Sophie Elizabeth Delaney. Adam Dinsdale. Jessica Page Ems. With the Dental Public Health Award for Best Submission in Final Year of the Population Studies Report, Rosie Elizabeth Fletcher. Zara Fedrick. Henry William Fairbank. With the Dental Public Health Award for Best Submission in the final year of the Population Studies Report, Anita G. With the Oral Surgery Award for Best Performance at Oral Surgery Placement, Rowan Glossop. Lauren Elizabeth Gant. Roshane Javid. Catherine Kenny. Natasha Leanne Kitchen. Jessica Stainer. Sarah Wadical. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Dentistry.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, I present those who have gained awards in the School of Social Work, Care and Community for a thesis entitled Getting Married to Britain, Integration and Polish People's Everyday Experiences of Living in Greater Manchester. The degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Katarzyna Koterba. Master of Arts in Community Leader. Master of Arts in Community Leader, Lee McNeil. Martin Andrew Rawlinson. Master of Arts in Contemporary Practice with Children and Young People, Victoria Jeanette Watson. Master of Arts in Social Policy, Kath Bridger. Master of Arts in Social Work, Lauren Kate Maymond. Notombik Hona, Brightness Long. Claire Schofield. Master of Community and Social Care, Janine Laverty. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Children's Schools and Families, Anam Arshad. Catherine Berry. Nicole Clough. Chantal Dufel. Kelsey Jane Gadd. Emma Catherine Gale Goulds. Emma Gray. Jessica Hargreaves. Alicia McGovern. Chloe Milner. Zubia Nazif. Armina Patel. Laura May Price. Lauren Proctor. Ikra Rayman. Rebecca Ridley. Jessica Kate Rodden. With the school prize for best dissertation, Lindsay Walters. Joshua Wignall. Abigail Wilson. Brady Louise Woods. Rebecca Bagnall. Sarah Elizabeth Barlow. Hayley Kathleen Beanland. Gina Campbell. Cleona Collins. With the school prize for outstanding achievement, James Coward. Lucy Charlotte Crompton. Cheryl Dalton. With the school prize for outstanding achievement, Jane Newsham. Tracy Sarah Felton. Karen Louise Gower. With the school prize for best dissertation, Tori Louise Green. Annabelle Harwood. Eleanor Herbert. Josie Horner. Kirsty Gale Jackson. Joanna Marie Jones. With the school prize for best dissertation, Kirsty Helen Keach. Stacey Louise Ledbetter. Laura Masson. Mary Rose McLaughlin. Thomas Parker. Julie Proctor. Nabila Raza. Emma Riding. Laura Slater. Katie Spate. Elizabeth Todd. Francesca Louise Wooler. Lichelle Warsell. Bachelor of Arts with honours in Community and Social Care, Policy and Practice, Rebecca Andrews. Vika Asher. Jessica Elaine Bard. Lauren Nicole Bailey. With the Community Project Prize, Holly Rianne Belshaw. Abigail Brennan. Zoe Brown. Amber Louise Butterworth. Selina Chibanda. Danielle Collins. Thembani Daladla. Michelle Firth. Sarah Jardine. Kimberly Ann Jarvis. Elizabeth Camwithy. Julcine Kay. Paige Alice Kimpton. Jennifer Lawani. Naomi Leach. Priska Makila. Gabrielle Martin. Sophie Louise Mean. Lauren Miller. Georgie Parsons. With the School Prize for Best Dissertation, Amy Powell. Nadia Rashid. Nicola Jade Roberts. Rebecca Sargent. Marley Slater. Rachel Louise Thompson. Michael Richard James Timmis. Savina Ugrada. With the School Prize for Best Dissertation, David Peter Walkden. Melissa Emma Ward. Sarah Louise Ward. Meron Kebede Welde Mariam. Holly Louise Bowman. Charlotte Bush. Nadia Horatio. Juliet Olaniyi. Janet Louise Riley. Jane Louise Riley. With the Sajita Imatiaz Award, Helen Claire Tomlinson. The Bachelor of Arts with honours in Bachelor of Arts with honours in Social Care Studies, Leanne Jane Garner-Jones. Sinini Gabisili Moyo. Bachelor of Arts with honours in Social Policy and Sociology with the School Prize for Best Dissertation, Janine Hyde. Natasha Katie-Ann Kerrigan-Beattie. Gemma Mountford. Nomvula Negwenya. Darren Webster. Bachelor of Arts with honours in Social Work, Sadaf Ahmed. Jessica Adjam. Shannon Barlow. Sofian Berra. James Joseph Best. Amy Bradshaw. Colin Jarlath Brophy. Sarah Burke. Aaron Cartwright. Ryan Crawford. Sarah Dempsey. Holly Draper. Nayari Dizarambe Chaparadza. Sophie Eves. Caroline Edwards. Alice Rose Flannery. Laura Fowley. Khadija Falonge. Catherine Gaynor. Kelly Hambleton. Jonathan Hampton. Mary Hewitt. Cassie Olivia Horton. Emma Ickringill. Siobhan Igo. Chelsea Ingram. Laura Jackson. Jessica Johnson. Amy Jade Kelly. Nazish Khan. Laura Lasmane. Ria Lyles. Robert Lowe. With the Brian Corby Award for Best Dissertation, Natala Mackey. Tendai Betty Marizani. Jenna McDermott. Lee Martin Meadows. Adele Melling. Rebecca Moore. Joseph Muchegwa. Catherine Muller. Keisha Nathan. Lorna Elizabeth Newton. Rachel Obasi. Neil Ogden. Olanrewaju Mark Olabode. Megan O'Neill. Samantha Ormerod. Eve Ostridge. Kerry-Ann O'Sullivan. Ainsley Parker. Jasmine Marie Paxford. Shannon Powell. Jade Pritchard. Alice Quinn. Chloe Rayner. Usman Riaz. Sophie Roberts. Vicky Ann Robinson. With the School Prize for Outstanding Achievement, Lisa Marie Rustage. Nafisa Salim. Victoria Alison Sargent. Hannah Smith. Alex Snape. Diane Speakman. Kirsty Stables. Katie Staines. Molly Steele. With the Joe Cunningham Award for Outstanding Achievement, Rosalind Ann Stewart Gilmore. Katie Summers. Caitlin Tattersall. Victoria Turner. Amy Lauren Wayne. Rebecca Waring. Hannah Watts. Naomi Waring. Hayley Jane Whitaker. Elizabeth Wilson. David Peter Holland. Warren Howarth. Certificate of Higher Education in Social Work awarded posthumously, Louise Baines. Foundation degree in Arts in Children, Young People and Their Services, Samantha Bainbridge. Janine Bannister. Sarah Barnes. Tracy Beckett. Emily Brownsword. Stevie Jane Burgess. Jennifer Campbell. Amanda Clayton. Sharon Coates. Caitlin Coperthwaite. Keita Davis. Joanne Edge. Amelia Fosbrook. Alison Files. Elizabeth Ann Goff. Hannah Granger. Bethany Victoria Greer James. Chloe Iverson. Terry Lee Jones. Chloe Kendall. Rashmi Dilanika Lianaji. Nicola Jane Mallinson. Amy Nelson. Heather Meadows. Jade Hannah Ramsden. Esther Rachel Salama. Jade Seddon. Danielle Simpson. Rebecca Sturkadge. Amy Elizabeth Taylor. Keely Jade Thornton. Louise Wormsley. Hannah Wilson. Catherine Louise Wilson. Fiona Allen. Keely Ashworth. Megan Baker. Judith Barnes. Gillian Gale Brown. Jade Louise Brown. Lorraine Brown. Khalida Chowdhury. Susan Denton. Lisa Claire Douglas. Victoria Louise Evans. Stephanie Jane Fleetwood. Emily Gill. Stacey Green. Jane Cheryl Hughes. Sean Jackson. Amy Johnson. Zoe Lightfoot. Natalie Lindsay Murray. Elizabeth Caroline Sudall. Deanne Taylor. Foundation degree in Arts, Children, Young People and Their Services, Leanne Marginson. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Social Work, Care and Community.
Vice-Chancellor, the presentations are completed. I call on Gemma Gauss, Vice President of Education from the Students' Union of the University of Central Lancashire, to respond on behalf of those awarded today.
Vice-Chancellor, graduates, families, friends and loved ones, it is my honour to stand here before you today and speak on behalf of students. Firstly, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate you all on your incredible achievements. You should all be very proud of yourselves. Well done. University is much more than just gaining a qualification and a certificate. For many of us here today, it is a means to transform our lives, to gain opportunities, to create social mobility and to escape the disadvantages and oppression we face in day-to-day life. UCLAN is rooted in a strong working class and diverse community in Preston. It prides itself on being a widening participation university. And many of you here today are proof of what can happen when we challenge adversity. Coming to university for many of us was a dream we dared not dream when growing up. We never believed it could be a reality. Some of you graduating today will have been scared, will have questioned your right to be here, and will have felt like you'd never succeed. Well, to those of you who felt this way, just take a moment, look around, look at where you are and how far you have come and how much you have achieved. You're here and you have done it. Studying is a big part of the university experience, but let's not forget about all the amazing things students achieve alongside this. Whether you have volunteered, been a course rep, or been part of a sports team or society, the passion you have demonstrated is something to treasure. Hold on to that passion and let it drive you forward wherever that may lead. To all the families, friends, staff and loved ones that have supported you on your journey, we thank you. And last but not least, I want to say, as you navigate the next steps in life, always remember we all have a bubble around us that we like to call the comfort zone. This is a place we feel safe and secure, but unfortunately, just outside of this bubble is all the good stuff in life. So burst that bubble, break out of your comfort zone and go get the good stuff. It's out there and it's just waiting for you. So class of 2018, go celebrate because you did it.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the University of Central Lancashire Chamber Choir. The members of the University Chamber Choir are all students of music theatre within the School of Journalism, Media and Performance. The choir is directed by the university's musician-in-residence, Mark Goggins. The university is extremely proud of the growing reputation and success of the Chamber Choir. In recent years, the choir has won national competitions, including the BBC Radio 3 Adult Choir of the Year. The Chamber Choir has performed on BBC One, BBC 4 and on BBC Radio 3, as well as at some major performance venues, including the Royal Festival Hall, Birmingham Symphony Hall, and the Bridgewater Hall. In June, the Chamber Choir returned from their latest overseas concert tour, which once again received great critical acclaim. This morning, the Chamber Choir will sing Africa by Toto. Thank you. Today is, of course, a day of great celebration for everyone here, and we need to celebrate in an appropriate way. Family and friends, there is a good photo video opportunity coming up, so you might like to have your cameras ready. Could I please ask all the graduates to stand and take off your mortarboards? This will be a great relief. A good number have been balancing rather precariously. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to wave your mortarboard, and as is the tradition at UCLan, you must wave as vigorous as you can in recognition of all your endeavours and achievements. However, do keep a tight hold of your mortarboard, as it is now yours to keep and take home. So, on a count of 3, I want you to all wave your mortarboards in the air and give an even louder, hearty cheer than that. And then we will all follow with a further 3 cheers. Are you ready, guys? 1, 2, 3. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. That looked really cool from up here. Thank you. Please, have a seat. As we bring this ceremony to a close, I would like to thank everyone who has been involved in making today such a happy and memorable occasion. And thank you for coming and sharing this special day with the university community. I would like to invite you all to return to a reception in the university's Foster building, where we will continue to celebrate the success of today's graduates. And gowns can be left at Foster building after the event. Please may I ask you all to now stand for the national anthem. I will explain our exit strategy. It is simple. The platform party will now leave the stage and form a celebratory guard of honour. We are going to conclude the ceremony with a final opportunity to applaud the success of today's graduates. Graduates, you will shortly be processing out of the hall. A university usher will prompt your row when you need to stand up. Please make sure you take all of your belongings with you. And guests, please may I ask that you all remain seated until the Guard of Honour is completed and the platform party has left the hall. You will be able to rejoin your graduates downstairs. Thank you.
Thank you.